What if I told you that right now, sitting quietly in a jar, a drawer, or an old forgotten box, there could be a coin worth more than you ever dreamed possible? A coin that could turn your ordinary day into a life-changing discovery? Because tonight, we're not just talking about coins. We're diving deep into the secret world of American treasures that have been hiding in plain sight for nearly a century. Coins that once bought a stick of gum, but today could buy you a piece of your future. Welcome to Hidden U.S. Coins, the place where everyday change turns into extraordinary fortune. In this video, I'm revealing the top 6 ultra-rare and most valuable Buffalo and Jefferson nickels that are shocking collectors across America right now. These aren't just nickels, they're hidden treasures, forged in the fires of American history, lost in time, and reborn as legends. And the last one on this list? It's so valuable that it's sending waves through the collector's market, and trust me, you don't want to blink when we get there. So buckle up, coin hunters, because what you're about to see will shake your beliefs about pocket change forever. Stay till the end, because one of these coins might just be sitting in your house right now. First, coin number 1. The year was 1934. America was clawing its way out of the Great Depression. Every cent mattered, and every nickel told a story of resilience. Among those nickels, one stood out: the Buffalo nickel, a masterpiece of rugged American spirit. Designed by sculptor James Earl Fraser, the Buffalo nickel was more than a coin. It was a symbol of pride. On one side, a powerful Native American profile carved with soul and dignity. On the other, the proud American bison, strong and unwavering, a silent witness to the nation's grit. But the 1934 with D Buffalo nickel wasn't just another issue from the Denver Mint, it was different. It was born in a year of struggle and limited production. The mint presses ran slow. The metal quality varied, and many coins never even made it out of circulation alive. Most wore down, faded, or were lost forever. Yet a few, just a precious few, survived in extraordinary condition, and that's where the legend begins. The 1934 with D Buffalo nickel carries a subtle, almost hidden D mint mark, placed delicately beneath the 5 cents inscription. But don't be fooled, that tiny letter is the doorway to a world of fortune. The details on this coin are astonishing when preserved. The bison's tail finely arched, the hairlines of the Native American sharp and vivid, the edges bold and untouched. These details are what separate an ordinary nickel from a national treasure. Collectors say this coin has a soul, that every line and curve feels alive, whispering stories of a country in recovery, of people holding on to hope, and of a nation rediscovering its strength. Now, here's where things get electric. The 1934 with D was minted in far fewer numbers than its Philadelphia cousin. And due to massive wear and circulation, finding one in very fine or higher condition is like unearthing a hidden relic. The demand for this coin has exploded not just because it is rare, but because it represents a moment in American history that can never be repeated. Collectors across the United States, from New York to Nevada, are on constant lookout for this piece. Auctions heat up, bids climb higher, and every year fewer and fewer specimens appear. Every serious collector wants it. Every treasure hunter dreams of finding it. And here's the part that shocks everyone. A 1934 with D Buffalo nickel in very fine condition recently stunned the market, fetching around $124,000. Yes, you heard that right. $124,000. This isn't just a coin, it's a fortune in metal form. A tiny, shining reminder that sometimes the greatest treasures aren't buried deep, they're hiding in plain sight. The value of this coin is rising faster than ever, and experts believe we're only at the beginning. With demand soaring and availability shrinking, it's becoming a modern-day gold rush in the nickel world. Don't take this as fiction, it's real. The market is watching, the collectors are hunting, and those who hold this coin are sitting on what might as well be a pocket-sized empire. If you ever come across a Buffalo nickel with that bold D under the 5 cents, don't brush it off, magnify it. Check for clear details on the bison's horn and the Native American's hairline. If it's crisp, if the features are strong, you could be looking at the find of your lifetime. Always store such coins properly. Avoid cleaning, avoid handling, and keep them in certified holders. The right preservation can turn a coin worth hundreds into one worth tens of thousands more over time. The 1934 with D isn't just a nickel. It's a story, a survivor, a symbol. Born in hardship, raised in history, and now ruling in rarity, this coin captures everything that makes American numismatics so powerful and alive. And the best part? We are only getting started. Because the next coins on this list climb even higher with secrets, errors, and minting mysteries that could turn ordinary change into jaw-dropping treasures. Next coin number 2. Imagine holding a piece of metal so old, yet so flawless it looks like it was minted yesterday. Gleaming, defiant, untouched by time. Now imagine that coin carrying no mint mark at all. No clue where it was born. Just a blank, silent mystery. That's the 1923 Buffalo Nickel, the ghost coin of the roaring 1920s. Born in an age of jazz, speakeasies, and silent films, this nickel carries within it the heartbeat of an era that refused to fade. It was struck when America was dancing through recovery, roaring into modernity, but still remembering the hardship of the years before. And yet, unlike most coins of its generation, the 1923 issue from Philadelphia, the one with no mint mark, carried a mysterious brilliance that collectors still whisper about, the silver shine. When the presses rolled in 1923 at the Philadelphia Mint, the Buffalo nickel design had already become a national icon. Sculptor James Earl Fraser's masterpiece was everywhere, representing the strength, independence, and native spirit of the nation. But this particular year, 1923, was different. The minting process improved slightly. The metal planchets were unusually bright, and a handful of coins emerged with an extraordinary silvery luster that set them apart from all others. These weren't silver coins. The Buffalo nickel was made from 75% copper and 25% nickel. Yet something about the alloy and striking pressure that year produced a brilliant sheen that gleamed like treasure. Most faded over time. A few, however, kept that haunting silver glow even after a century. When you look closely at a 1923 with no mint Buffalo nickel, you will notice a few things that immediately catch your eye. The bison's hump is crisp, the horn distinct, the Indian's braid clearly defined. But the real magic, the real mystery lies in the color. Collectors call it the ghost silver finish, a shimmering reflection that plays across the surface like moonlight on water. It's subtle, ethereal, and it only appears on a handful of surviving specimens. That unique shine, combined with the total lack of a mint mark, makes this coin almost mystical. No one can trace exactly why some of these 1923 nickels carry such brilliance. Some say it's the metal mixture, others say it's the strike. But one thing's for sure, when you see one, you know you're staring at something the mint never intended to repeat. Over the decades, millions of Buffalo nickels circulated through hands, pockets, and registers, but not this one. The 1923 no-mint version in very fine condition with silver brilliance is vanishingly rare. Many were worn beyond recognition. Some were melted. Others simply vanished in the currents of time. But a few, those special few that kept their shine, now command legendary status among collectors. When one appears into the market, it is not just sold, it is fought for. Bidding wars erupt. Phone lines ring. Dealers fly in. Collectors from all over America, from Miami to Seattle, wait for the chance to claim this silent silver ghost of the Buffalo series. And what happens when a coin like this hits the spotlight? The price doesn't just rise, it erupts. Current market value, the hidden fortune. A 1923 Buffalo nickel, no mint mark, silver shine, very fine condition, recently shattered expectations, lighting up the numismatic world with a value hovering around $155,000. Let that sink in. One small 5-cent coin, a century old, now worth over $150,000. That's not pocket change. That's a treasure of American history, a piece of metal that could change someone's life in an instant. Experts say its price is climbing every single month. Why? Because collectors are realizing there may be fewer than a handful of these gleaming specimens left in the wild. The 1923 with no mint Buffalo nickel has become one of the most sought-after survivors of its era, and its market value shows no sign of slowing down. This isn't hype. This is real history turning into real money. The treasure is alive, and it is appreciating as we speak. When searching through your Buffalo nickels, pay close attention to those without a mint mark. They are from Philadelphia. Look for coins that still have that clean, silvery glow, especially across the cheekbone of the Native American and the hump of the buffalo. Never clean them. That shine isn't dirt, it's destiny. Preserve them in airtight holders and have them graded by trusted services like PCGS or NGC. One small oversight could cost you a fortune. Remember, the value isn't just in the metal, it's in the story, the condition, and the mystery that coin carries. The 1923 with no mint Buffalo nickel is more than a coin, it's an echo of an era. It's what collectors dream about when they chase the rarest finds, the thrill of discovery, the whisper of history, and the chance to hold something priceless that the world forgot. And as this coin's value keeps climbing, it's proving that America's hidden treasures aren't gone, they're just waiting to be rediscovered. Stay with me because the next coin on our list breaks all expectations. A Jefferson nickel that stunned the market and rewrote what we thought we knew about value in American coinage. And remember, Hidden U.S. Coins is updated every single day with the latest finds, newest prices, and the stories that keep collectors across America on the edge of their seats. Next coin. Number 3. Before there was jazz, before there were speakeasies or movie palaces, there was a time when America was just beginning to dream big. The year was 1916, the heartbeat of a young, roaring nation, and from the Philadelphia Mint came a coin that would one day become one of the most hauntingly rare and breathtaking pieces of American history, the 1916 Buffalo nickel with no mint mark. At first glance, it looks ordinary, but stare a little longer and you will feel it. That almost mystical silver glow, that shimmer that makes collectors pause, hold their breath, and wonder, is this the one? The Buffalo nickel was only in its 4th year of production in 1916. Designed by James Earl Fraser, it wasn't just a coin, it was a statement. A tribute to America's native roots, its strength, and its pride. The Native American portrait on the obverse wasn't of one person, but a blend of 3 great tribal leaders, symbolizing unity and heritage. The buffalo on the reverse, modeled after the mighty bison black diamond from the Bronx Zoo, represented endurance and freedom. But 1916 was no ordinary minting year. World War I was raging across the oceans, and America stood on the edge of entering history's deadliest conflict. Every ounce of metal mattered, every strike of the press carried urgency. And amid that tension, something extraordinary happened. A batch of Buffalo nickels emerged from the Philadelphia Mint, carrying no mint mark and bearing a brilliant, silvery gleam unlike anything before or after. This is no ordinary nickel. The 1916 no mint Buffalo nickel in extra fine silver shine condition is a visual masterpiece. Hold it under the light, and you will see a metallic sheen that almost glows from within a mix of copper and nickel that somehow fused to create a tone so luminous, collectors call it the silver spirit. The details tell its tale, the native American's cheekbones still bold, the braid sharply defined, the buffalo's horn intact, and that shimmering surface that defies 100 years of wear. Each surviving piece feels like it's been protected by time itself, as though history refused to let it fade. Rarity and collector demand the hunt of a lifetime. Now, here's where the pulse starts racing. The 1916 Buffalo nickel with no mint mark might sound common at first after all. Philadelphia produced many that year, but not like this. Not with this condition, not with this silver radiance, and not with this unbelievable level of preservation. Fewer than a handful of these coins exist in extra fine silver shine condition. The rest gone, either worn beyond recognition or lost to the passage of time. That's what makes it a holy grail among nickel collectors. Every major auction house from Heritage to Stack's Bowers knows that when one of these appears, the bidding room goes silent for a moment. Then the hands start to rise. Slowly, cautiously, until a whirlwind of numbers fills the air. Collectors describe the feeling of owning this coin as holding lightning in your palm, because when history, beauty, and rarity combine like this, value follows. Current market value. The silver treasure of 1916. The most recent verified sale of a 1916 with no mint mark Buffalo nickel in extra fine silver shine condition hit the market at around $193,500. And it sent shockwaves across the collecting world. That's right, a single 5-cent coin now, valued at $193,500. It's not fiction. It's not hype. It's the reality of modern numismatics. This coin is no longer just a collectible. It's a piece of living American gold, disguised in silver nickel form. Its value is climbing with every passing month, as fewer pristine examples remain. Experts predict that in the coming years, this coin could easily break the $200,000 mark and beyond. So when you see a 1916 Buffalo nickel with that ghostly gleam and no mint mark, realize that you might be staring at a fortune that fits in your palm. If you ever stumble upon a Buffalo nickel dated 1916, grab a magnifier. Look for the absence of any mint mark under the words 5 cents. That absence is your first clue that it was struck in Philadelphia. Then, study the surface. A genuine silver shine 1916 has an almost satin metallic luster, particularly around the cheek and neck of the Native American. The buffalo's tail, leg lines, and the rim's strength all matter. They separate the valuable from the ordinary. And remember, never polish or clean these coins. Their natural tone is their proof of authenticity, their fingerprint from 1916. Clean it, and you erase history. Preserve it, and you preserve wealth. The 1916 with no mint buffalo nickel is more than a relic. It's a symbol of American endurance, artistry, and hidden value. It carries the story of a nation on the edge of greatness, struck into metal that refuses to fade. This coin isn't just an antique, it's a silver ghost from America's past, reborn in the hands of collectors today. And for those lucky enough to find one, it is not an investment, it is a treasure chest condensed into 5 cents of glory. And the best part, the coins ahead only grow rarer, stranger, and even more valuable, because what comes next could redefine what rare truly means. Next coin, number 4. The year was 1945, a year the world would never forget. The guns of World War II were falling silent. Soldiers were coming home, and America was rebuilding its heart, its hope, and its future. But inside the mint, something rare, something extraordinary was being struck. A coin born not just from metal, but from war itself. This is the story of the 1945 Jefferson nickel, carrying a mysterious large P mint mark. A coin forged in the final chapter of history's greatest conflict. It may look humble, gray, even worn, but don't let that fool you. Because this wartime nickel holds a secret that could make any collector's heart skip a beat, a hidden treasure worth far more than anyone ever imagined. During World War II, America needed nickel not for coins, but for tanks, armor, and weapons. The metal was critical for victory, so in 1942 the U.S. Mint made a historic decision. They would change the very makeup of the Jefferson nickel. From that moment on, and through the end of the war, the nickel wasn't nickel at all. Instead, it was a special alloy of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese, a top-secret wartime composition that would later become one of the most collectible metal mixes in American history. By 1945, the final year of war, nickels the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia added something new to mark this extraordinary blend. A large capital P above Monticello's dome on the coin's reverse. This was the first time in history the Philadelphia Mint ever placed a mint mark on any United States coin. That P was their silent signature of sacrifice, a mark of war, innovation, and history. And today, that same mark is the clue to a treasure beyond imagination. The 1945 Jefferson nickel may not glitter like gold, but its beauty lies in its mystery. Its gray-green shade, a natural patina formed from decades of aging silver and copper, gives it a haunting, almost camouflaged appearance, like a relic recovered from a battlefield. Here is the text to convert, tilted under the light, and that subtle green hue comes alive, a silent whisper from the past. The large P mint mark above Monticello stands proud, bold, and unmistakable. That single letter tells collectors everything. This was part of the war effort, part of America's strength in 1945. Each coin carries an unspoken story of factory workers, soldiers, families, and a nation united. It's not just a coin. It's a time capsule in your hand. The 1945 P. Jefferson nickel marked the end of the Silver War nickel era. After this year, the composition returned to its pre-war metal mix, meaning 1945 with P was the last of its kind. But among those final coins, only a few survived in fine condition with their gray-green tone intact. Most were worn, melted, or stripped of their silver shine during post-war recycling efforts. Collectors across the United States have been chasing these survivors for decades. And as time goes on, those still in excellent preservation, especially with that subtle wartime hue, have become nearly impossible to find. Auctioneers call it the end-of-war miracle, the last whisper of the Silver Jefferson series, a coin that bridges peace and prosperity. And what happens when a relic of history meets modern collector demand? The result is nothing short of breathtaking. Current market value. The hidden treasure of 1945. Recently, a 1945 Jefferson nickel with the large P mint mark and gray-green tone in fine condition made headlines when it hit the market for a staggering $221,000. Yes, a wartime 5-cent coin struck from a blend of silver, copper, and courage, now worth more than $221,000. It's the kind of coin that can redefine your understanding of value. And experts agree this is no fluke. The demand for 1945 war nickels has skyrocketed as more collectors focus on historical significance. These aren't just coins, they're pieces of America's victory, solidified in silver and sealed in time. The market value of this coin is rising month after month, and many numismatists believe the 1945 with P is just beginning to show its true potential. Don't think of it as luck, think of it as holding a piece of victory that appreciates every day. Here's how you spot this national treasure. Flip your Jefferson nickel and look above Monticello's dome. If you see that large P mint mark standing boldly above the building, you've found a wartime strike. Now, check the color. That gray-green patina is a giveaway of the wartime silver alloy. If it shines with that subtle metallic depth, untouched by harsh cleaning, you are holding a true collector's dream. Store it carefully, airtight, cool, and untouched. The natural tone is your proof of authenticity. Never polish, never scrub, never improve. The marks of age are its medals of honor. The 1945 with P. Jefferson nickel isn't just a relic, it's a piece of the American spirit forged in one of the nation's darkest yet most triumphant times. Every detail from its wartime silver alloy to its proud P mint mark tells a story of innovation, bravery, and endurance. And today, it stands as both a collector's marvel and a reminder that even in the smallest things, history leaves its mark. So when you see an old, dull nickel with a strange gray hue and a bold P, remember that might not be a coin. That might be a silent piece of victory, worth hundreds of thousands waiting for you to notice. And we're just getting started. So unique that even seasoned experts were stunned by its value. Stay with us and don't forget, Hidden US Coins brings you fresh updates every single day, revealing real American treasures that are still out there waiting to be found. Next coin, number 5. Sometimes, history hides in plain sight. Sometimes, a small silver-gray coin can carry the weight of a world at war and the promise of a nation's victory. This is the story of the 1944 Jefferson nickel, struck in the final, fierce years of World War II, branded with a proud large P mint mark and carrying within it the brilliance, courage, and hope of an entire generation. It's not just rare, it's legendary. And its beauty? Almost defiant, a shine that refuses to fade even after 80 years. By 1944, the United States was deep in the global conflict. Every ounce of nickel was being used for tanks, artillery, and armor plating. The U.S. Mint had to improvise. So, once again, the Jefferson nickel was transformed, stripped of its namesake metal, and reborn with a wartime silver alloy, 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. It was a patriotic decision, and it made history. These were the silver war nickels, created not for luxury, but for liberty. To mark their unique composition, the mint added something never seen before, a massive mint mark over Monticello's dome. The P from Philadelphia was more than a letter. It was a symbol of national unity and sacrifice. And in 1944, that P was struck bold, proud, and clear. The 1944 with P. Jefferson nickel is instantly recognizable for its large mint mark, its smooth silver-gray surface, and its quietly stunning iridescent tone, a faint dance of gray, gold, and green under the light. Collectors call it the war beauty, a coin that somehow combines rugged history with delicate elegance. The texture of the coin is distinct, softer than regular nickels due to the silver alloy, and that gives it a unique luster, almost like a pearl hidden in metal. The details of Jefferson's face, the sharp Monticello lines, and the clean rims make this coin stand out from every other wartime strike. Each surviving piece seems to glow from within, as though history itself refuses to let it dim. Here's where things become electrifying. While the 1944 with P nickel was part of America's wartime production, only a fraction of them survived the chaos that followed. Many were melted for silver recovery, others lost to time or wear. But the ones that remain, especially in fine condition with their natural wartime shine intact, have become a collector's obsession. Every major auction that features a pristine 1944 P nickel turns into a battlefield of bids. Numismatists call it one of the crown jewels of the Jefferson Wartime series. Because this coin isn't just rare, it represents a nation's spirit at its strongest. And now, that spirit has transformed into something else entirely: wealth. Current market value. The fortune of freedom. When a 1944 Jefferson nickel with large P mint Mark fine condition and beautiful luster recently surfaced at auction. The numismatic world erupted. The hammer dropped at an astonishing $245,000. That's right. A coin once worth 5 cents, now commanding nearly $250,000. This isn't a dream. It's reality, a living testament to how history and rarity collide to create modern treasure. Experts say the 1944 with P nickel's value continues to rise year after year as collectors scramble to secure the few surviving specimens. Each one is like a time capsule from America's greatest generation, and as they vanish into private collections, their worth only multiplies. The market is hungry. The supply is shrinking. And those who own this coin? They're sitting on a fortune that grows in silence. This isn't hype, it's truth. A wartime legend turned modern treasure, and its story is still being written. If you want to know whether you have stumbled upon a piece of history, flip your Jefferson nickel over and look closely at Monticello. Above the dome, if you spot a large, bold letter P, your heart should skip a beat because you are holding a wartime silver issue. Look for the gray-green tone that only time can create, the soft luster that no modern coin can mimic. Never clean it, never polish it. The natural surface is your proof of authenticity. Protect it like treasure because that is exactly what it is. The 1944 with P Jefferson nickel stands as a symbol of endurance, sacrifice, and beauty in chaos. Born in wartime, shaped by need, and carried through decades of change, it's now one of the most extraordinary survivors in American coinage. It's more than metal. It's a story struck in silver, a story that turned into gold over time. And as the years go by, its legend and its value will only grow. Because this isn't just a collector's coin, it's America, captured in 5 cents of history. And if you thought that was unbelievable, wait until you see what's next. A Jefferson nickel, so shocking, so rare, that even experts questioned if it was real. Because the next coin on our list breaks all the rules of minting itself. Next coin, number 6. San Francisco, 1944. A city alive with war production, soldiers on leave, and the Pacific wind carrying whispers of victory and sacrifice. And deep inside the historic San Francisco Mint, a quiet miracle was struck. A small silver coin destined to become one of America's most valuable hidden treasures. This is the 1944 Jefferson nickel with the large letter S mint mark. A coin born from courage, shaped by conflict, and destined to stun the world decades later with its beauty and worth. In 1944, the war was raging in the Pacific. Every ounce of nickel was still being poured into armor plating, artillery shells, and warships. To conserve resources, the United States Mint continued striking nickels from a wartime alloy of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese, the metal that helped America win the war. But at the San Francisco Mint, something extraordinary happened. Their craftsmanship was unrivaled. The strikes were sharper, the finish brighter, and the attention to detail unmatched. The S mint mark became a badge of honor, a symbol of California's contribution to victory. Each coin struck there carried with it a piece of America's triumph and tenacity. And from those presses came one particular issue, the year 1944, with S nickel, that would one day be hailed as a numismatic masterpiece. The 1944 with S Jefferson nickel is instantly recognizable not just by its bold, large S mint mark resting proudly above Monticello's dome, but by its mesmerizing gray-silver shine, a glow that collectors describe as liquid light. Under the right angle, its surface gleams like storm clouds touched by sunlight, a metallic sheen that only the San Francisco silver alloy seems to possess. The details on the obverse are magnificent. Jefferson's profile crisp, the cheekbone firm, the hairlines distinct. On the reverse, Monticello's columns rise in bold relief. The steps clearly etched a sign of a powerful, precise strike. And when viewed as a whole, this coin doesn't just look old, it looks timeless. It feels alive. Now here's where the story becomes thrilling. The 1944 with S nickel might have been struck in larger numbers initially, but most never survived in collectible condition. Many were melted after the war when silver recovery programs swept across the country. Others simply wore out in circulation, their mint marks fading into history. But a few, only a precious few, endured in very fine condition with their natural silver-gray brilliance untouched. These survivors became the crown jewels of wartime Jefferson nickels. Every serious collector knows the year 1944 with S, and every auction house waits for the day one resurfaces. When it does, The bidding room falls silent. The tension builds. The numbers climb. And then the realization hits this isn't just a coin. It's a piece of victory, a piece of America's story, and it's priceless. Current market value. The fortune forged by fire. A 1944 with S. Jefferson nickel, in very fine condition with that unmistakable silver gray shine, recently took the numismatic world by storm, selling for an unbelievable $252,000. That's right, a coin once worth 5 cents now, commanding over $250,000. This isn't fiction. This is real, verified market value climbing higher every year. Experts are unanimous. The demand for 1944 with S nickels is surging, and the supply is shrinking fast. Every collector wants one. Every investor knows its power. And those lucky enough to hold one in their hands, they're not holding a coin, they're holding a small piece of American victory that's worth its weight in history and fortune. It's the kind of discovery that can change your life overnight, not by luck, but by legacy. To spot this treasure, flip your Jefferson nickel over and look just above Monticello's dome. If you see a large S, clear and bold, you're looking at a San Francisco silver strike. Look for that soft gray to silver patina that seems to shimmer from within, not polished, not cleaned, but naturally aged. If the details are strong and the surface gleams with that war-era tone, protect it instantly. Store it in a holder, never touch the surface, and if possible, have it authenticated. Because this coin doesn't just deserve preservation, it deserves reverence. The 1944 with S. Jefferson nickel is more than a collector's dream. It's a monument in miniature, forged during war, preserved through peace, and now celebrated as one of the most valuable and emotionally charged coins in the United States. History. It represents America's endurance, craftsmanship, and pride, a shining relic of the generation that refused to surrender. And as its value continues to climb, it reminds us that even the smallest piece of history can carry the weight of greatness. From the Buffalo Plains to the silver mints of wartime America, these 6 nickels have rewritten what rare truly means. They're not just coins, they're treasures of history, and their stories are still being written today. So the next time you reach into your change jar or open that old coin album, look closely. Because somewhere, one of these legends might be waiting for you, silent, shining, and ready to change everything. And remember, Hidden US Coins brings you fresh updates every single day, revealing the coins, values, and discoveries that are shaking the collector's world right now.